Hey there, legends. It's Warne here, coach of the Warne Dawgs, ready for round 17. I'm doing this quite early, actually. Got to get to work and got to do some things. I normally get a chance in the afternoon to do this, but anyway, doing it in the morning, so it's not really the knockoff froth that it might be for some people for the Friday Fantasy Fill-Up thing that I have on Dream Team Talk. That article's there, a bit of a bumper episode, edition, whatever it is, over on dreamteamtalk.com. You can check that out. Talk a little bit of stuff about Dunkley. I'll probably mention some of that today here in this one. But also a couple of other little things such as how teams are named and some little things to understand about that, because we did see a bit of an incident last week. We've also got DPPs coming up. They'll be out on Sunday night, so just a couple of things there. It's not really going to be totally relevant to a lot of coaches, I don't think. Obviously, draft is one thing that is there, but couple of names that you can have a look at and see whether they get it or not. We'll know that on Sunday night. All right, let's get into it. Last night, we had a game of footy, and that was the Tigers getting over the Swans. I tipped the Swans. I was hoping that they might have got there in the end. They were up at one point. But anyway, Errol Goulden, he's just been so good lately. 126, he's just... I think he's averaging about 130 or so in the last three or so. So just a machine. He could have been and probably should have been our VC option for last night for a bit of safety there, because I feel like that's what he just does at the moment, especially with the Tigers being the matchup they are. Nank had another good score. He's just been very good. I've actually got in my keeper league, I've got Nank and Tim English, so only playing one ruck. So it's actually a bit of a waste there, and no one wants to buy the Nank because there's no way I'm selling Timmy English unless there's a good price there. Who knows who could give me something there? If anyone's watching out of our keeper league, consider. Tim Taranto had a 97, so missed his ton run, but that's two sub-hundreds in a row after going at those first 13, must have been, no, 14. Was 14 rounds. He did that. The other ones to look at is, there was the injuries. We'll start down the bottom for that, and that was Jacob Bauer. So unlucky there for the kid in his debut game, hamstring very early. And then we also had Jake Lloyd. So Jake Lloyd was cleaned up by Nank, who did score well, and he was dominating too. So he's been shithouse basically since people picked him off that bye, which a lot of coaches did, like a lot of 70s sort of thing there. It has just not been worked out, considering he was averaging 99, I think it was, in the 5 weeks prior to that. So very annoying. If you held on to him for this week because this better matchup, it was looking right and it was looking good. That's just super unlucky. Well done if you did get rid of him. Sam Banks had a 39 as a rookie there. Probably we weren't thinking about that being a big one, but the biggest rookie was Angus Sheldrick, who has been in epic form, as we all know, and we were hoping that we could possibly loop him off the bench. So he hurt his ankle early, scored 46 from 54% time on ground. Now that is the concern, and that's the issue there. Probably the ankle has a bit to do with that, because that happened, I think it was either towards the end of the first quarter or the second quarter. I didn't get to watch a bit of the start because we do a lot of our work there, so you can check all that out on afl.com.au at the moment, like our video and stuff like that, but didn't get to see the exact thing there. So 46, we're not looping that on if you've got him on the bench, so you're going to have to pivot with your plans, which is basically where I will go to now, and that is the Warne Dawgs. No trades made at the moment. So last night, I had Errol, I had Tim Taranto, they're the only ones on field, and then had Sheldrick on the bench. Now, that plan was to loop him on. So that won't be happening now. So my trades, pretty much how I'm looking for these, is going to work with this. Now, I've got Dunkley to move. So that's an obvious one that has to happen. So Dunkley goes out. And the other one that I'm going to get rid of is Andy McGrath. So finally saying goodbye to Andy McGrath. What a frustrating thing that has been. That he should have gone at round 2 or 3 or something like that, or 4 or 5 or 6. And he's finally going now. So I'm actually doing that, and while I'm still choosing to play 3 rookies on field, which will be Ashcroft and Johnson. Ashcroft got 0 issues with this week. Famous last words, touch wood, that doesn't turn into rubbish. But Ashcroft this week, very confident or very happy to be playing him this week. Johnson, but there's obviously the cash to be made there. So his break-even's 28. And then Windhager comes on for Sheldrick. His break-even's 22. So happy just to keep rolling those guys. And it does suck playing 3. I could be moving one of those to a premium, but it may not be exactly who I want. So that's why an Andy McGrath goes. Now, my trades on the AFL.com.au video, which aren't in here because I looked at that, and that was prior to sort of knowing that Sheldrick was going to be that bad, was moving on. Andy McGrath went to Petrarca, and Dunkley went to Butters, which would be a great move. I like Petrarca as an option if anyone's looking there. He's a great option with Clayton Oliver out for the next 3 to 4, they're saying. So I would be quite happy to go into that one at 9:33 from memory. Anyway, actually, he's probably sitting on the side here somewhere, is he? Don't know. Anyway, yeah, so that could be the thing. So what I'm looking at now, and this is where my moves are likely to land, and it goes against a bit of my fantasy philosophy. So let's have a look here. Let me just get it back on that one. Oh, no, you don't want to be looking at my head. Let's have a look at that. There we go. So my plan was to get rid of Dunkley, obviously, and to get rid of Andy McGrath, which I did sit on the bench there as part of how I was setting up for this. Okay, so what I was looking at is, you're sitting in the forward line, aren't you, there, Dunkley? How about I put Sheasel back into the forward line? And then that can get me Jordan Dawson. So Jordan Dawson in for Dunkley. Now, that goes against a lot of things that I do, paying up for that. So not that keen on doing that move, to be honest. But it's getting Jordan Dawson. It's getting rid of a premium that I may not quite get back. Depends on how and when that might happen to get Dunkley back. But I'm going to a big dog that can be a captain. Calvin's number one captain option. If he wasn't his number one captain, I may not even be that keen this week. But anyway, doing that. Oh, shit, he's playing the Bombers as well. That's probably not a good thing. Anyway, Dawson, and that's more about me barracking for the Bombers and watching a bloke dominate against them. That's in my fantasy team. Although it can be the glass half full approach to fantasy sometimes. Then Andy McGrath, I've got 887k. So that actually limits me with who I can get. So I want to get a forward, and that forward there would be Cornelio. I would like McRae. If I had 10 more grand, I would go the McRae option. But it's Cogs. So I don't have him, haven't had him. And that's what that would leave me with, 33k in the bank. Now, I don't want to hit make trade on this because that will, look, well, it might lock something in and I really don't want to. I know it shouldn't and all that sort of stuff, but I am very superstitious on how that will work. So that's where I'm looking at the moment. At this current point of time, about 9 o'clock on Friday morning, I've got a bit of time this afternoon where I'll probably undo all of these mistakes. But I guess the big thing from that is that tonight's games, Bulldogs and Collingwood, I wouldn't need to make any moves, only if I did want to get McRae. So that could be McRae. It could be a McRae and Butters. It could be Cornelio and McRae, which would save me some cash, which then, if I go back to my team, click that one on. I go back to my team. What you can sort of see there is that essentially Sheasel will go forward. So I'll have Dawson there. So Sheasel can fill that position. This position would then become Cornelio. So then I'm playing Windhager. I've got Ashcroft and Johnson. Now, in that, it's only 33k left in the bank to work with for next week. Now, that is a little bit of a concern considering I've got those 3 rookies on field because next week it would be nice to move someone. In saying that, though, I'm eyeing off for Johnson to turn into Simpkin. Now, if you have a look, if you're on our Patreon, you have a look at Cow's Scale of Hardness, North Melbourne's run is pretty bloody good coming up. So I know it's a massive risk. This is like I could even be trying to get to Mills, who was good. I should have mentioned him from last night's game. So another 90-odd, so that's good. But if you're really strapped for cash, it could be a Simpkin at that super cheap, sub 600k price that he is. So, and they've got just a nice run. That's the thing that you can be looking at there. If you are totally cash strapped, but I would like to be aiming higher, and that's the thing that would like me to be going instead of Dawson, getting in, let's call it a McRae and Cogs or a McRae and Butters. That would bank me some cash to actually turn that rookie into someone higher, which is probably the way that I'll go, as much as it'll sting not having, well, it has stung all bloody year. smarter way to play with my team in a really shit rank and needing to make it better on field. Because as we can see, a lot of us are probably going to be thinking, well, Sheldrick can hold down an F6 spot for a few weeks. Not with a 46 there. And yes, I know there's the injury and stuff, but that time on ground could be limited in other weeks as well, because that's what Horse does, and we've seen that happen before. So, yeah. So watch this space. I'll probably tweet it out or something like that, or put it on Threads if you are over there on that, the Facebook / Instagram / whatever meta thing that it is. So I have set up an account at Warne. I am not even a Warne DT there because it's off my Instagram handle. So you can check that out. So that's where that's looking. Now, like I try to do each week on here as well, let's go and have a look at the most traded players. So, oh no, what's going on? Oh, shit. Hang on. What's going on here? Oh, boy. I clicked on the cat's bloody thing. Right, let me go back. I'll try to work that out. What's going on? So annoying. Technology. You'd think I'd be all right at it, wouldn't I? What did I do there? All right, let's go back to that then. Sorry. Back to screen. Here it is. All right, I'll make that bigger there. All right. That's on that one. General to coach's choice. Sorry about that. In Sam Banks last night, so that 39 that he scored, he should be on your bench if you were getting him. So Keys, see, I'm in a bit of a weird spot with that. Keys could be an option for me. And again, that's the way to save some cash and turn that rookie into a super premium next week. Keys will go to merit. It sounds like that's the thing. He scored well last week, obviously. He pumped out the 132 last week with only the 1 centre bounce. I trust it, but I wonder if paying, I think he's priced at about 90 now, which is totally fair. I don't think he goes below 90 at all. But, yeah, gosh. Everyone's sort of jumped on him now. What's his ownership up to? And ownership at 15%. That 15% would probably be coming from the top 20,000 coaches or so anyway. So I reckon, I don't know. He's still an option for me. Callum Mills, well done if you jumped there. So his score last, it was a 92 in the end. It looked like it was going to be a lot higher than that as well. Himmelberg, I'm okay with. And see, that could be another option that I did get in the forward line if I wanted to. Obviously saving a buttload of cash, and then that would get that premium up. There's a few decisions I can make. Liam Henry, I'd be okay with doing it. I know we've sort of said no, but those numbers and that roll, 118, 116, it's just the amount of disposals he's getting there. Like, that's huge. 32 against the Bombers and then 33 last week against the Bulldogs. So, yeah, you can do it, I think. Cooper Harvey, he's probably the rookie to grab. What's going on there? Because he is at 200K. He's got mid-forward status, and he plays for the shittest team of the lot of the rookies coming through. Taj Woden, you might go there, but I think I'd go with Cooper Harvey instead, and it's not even about scoring or anything like that. I think it's just job security to have a heartbeat there if you need them. Doherty, yeah, happy to launch into that. Bont, now I'm launching into Dawson, but why is that taking so long to load? Our internet's really bad here at the moment. Launching into Dawson, but I don't want to launch into Bont at a mil. So here's numbers. Look at that. That is just so awesome. Like, there's your captain hindsight of shit. Like, I liked him in the preseason. I think I liked him more than Roy or Cow, and Roy ended up doing it. And McRae just screwed me from the start of the season. Anyway, that should have been Bont. Cogs is in that mix as well, Rosie. So it's fairly spread. And when you're looking at the numbers, like, we were sort of having a chat off air last night talking about, the numbers of the ins aren't high, like, as in, are there a lot of trades being made and stuff like that? People are dropping off, there's no doubt about that. But they're just so spread this week, which is a good thing, because when you look at the outs, we've got their 30K of traded out Dunkley. Now, he's owned by like 100,000. So while there's people still needing to make their trades, you can probably get a bit of an idea of how many people have dropped off a little bit at this point. See what that looks like at the end of the weekend, how many have traded him out, and you'll get a bit of an idea of who's still playing the game, because there is a little world that people will hold, but I'm not totally sure they would. Humphrey has to go, of course. Hobbsy, he can go. Obviously, what was last week's score? It was 73, yeah. So that was a little bit lower than I thought it was. It was against Port Adelaide, but yeah, I think he can go because he's done his job, as long as you're getting yourself to a nice player that does their job for you, whether that could be a down to Himmelberg to bank some cash to make someone else better, or you're getting him up to a premium. Fife's obviously injured. Harvey Harrison didn't make the cut. Luke Jackson was just awful last week. What was that, 35? After a great string of games there. Like, he was a good buy-round play, which with Darcy out, but even in saying that, like, he still scored all right when Darcy was in the team. So that was a shocker. I think that Kieran Briggs goes, because if that gets you to your English, I'm very happy with that. However, I think that he will be better this week, especially against the Hawks. Oh, gosh, I can't even remember. Meek's out, Reeves is playing. It's only the one, and he should be good. Short, obviously, that's locked in, and Warner's locked in. So people that didn't move Warner last week moved in this week, and Short there as well. Now, Will Day's an interesting one. You'd have to be in a pretty luxurious position to do that, which I'm certainly not. He'll be rolling around. So that's the next part of looking at my team before I call it quits here for today. Is, your weakest links in your team. So that is Will Day in defence for me. As I've mentioned, I've got those 2 rookies, but quite happy with the 6 premiums that I've got there. Obviously, set and forget rucks. And the forwards will be, so one of those will be a premium there. Yeah, 2 premiums will be there. So a rookie there as well. So that's why I want them to be premiums, because I do have a couple of lower end ones. So while the money budget would be smarter to get the cheaper dudes, that's exactly, that's the issue. I've got cheaper guys that I could be going for and having some cash for next week, because looking ahead to the future is another important part of the game, I think, as well. Like, we've got James Sicily has a great run of games coming, and he comes off his suspension next week. Yeah, you're paying a bit. He must be $9.50 or so. I've got this thing sitting here on the side. I can, instead of making up these numbers, Sicily, $9.34. So, and those games, I should actually have Cow's Scale of Hardness to put up and show you. Like 130, 165, 125. Massive scores. But he's got, hang on, I'll go into the fixture. He's got North Melbourne this week. North Melbourne next week. So he's getting that one. Richmond, Saints. So those 3 games he can score bloody well in. Super well in fact. So it would be nice to have him for that. Right. Well, anything else to talk about? Probably not. You do know that we are getting very excited about Perth. That is happening next week. This time next week, we'll probably be hungover, actually. And that will be after our Thursday night show, which is the one that's up on the screen now. You can grab your tickets. You can go to DT Talk or DreamTeamTalk.com, or our social media platforms have shown that. I'll put a link in the description here for this one. But you can go and grab tickets to that. It'd be awesome. We're looking forward to it. Friday night did sell out, so we can't get you to come along to that one. That's going to be a big day. But if you are watching this and you like the stuff that we do, on the Thursday, if you want to get down to the Campfield early at 4:15, we'll be going live on our afl.com.au stream. So that will be done live from the venue, which will be a bit of fun. Hopefully things work. That's going to be my stress and my issue. And yeah, we might have a special guest or 2 for that one. So that'll be a bit of fun as well. So if you want to get down, then we'll have some food, a palmy, Perth people. Palmer for me, but Palmy at the pub, watching the footy, and then we'll launch into our show, which will start at about 8 o'clock. So that'll be good fun. We've planned up a lot of fun for that. Some prizes along the way. Yeah, it's going to be great. That's all thanks to our mates at Game Day Squad. They are legends for getting us over there. So they've made our life a lot easier for getting us there, pretty much, is how it's going to work. So check them out. GameDaySquad.com.au is their website, and they've got an app which you can go and open up your packs of cards and check it out. We have a lot of fun with that as a little side fantasy game. We'll hear a bit more about that at the shows in Perth, because they have been so good sponsoring us. All right, I'm done. That's longer than I thought it was going to be, and I now have to get to work. So thanks for tuning in. Thanks for being part of the journey. We've got 8 rounds to go. I'm looking forward to that being over because it has been a long year for the mighty, mighty Warne Dawgs, or the former mighty, mighty Warne Dawgs. If you're not on our Patreon, go and check that out, patreon.com/DT Talk. Lots of fun stuff that happens over there across the week, and lots of informative stuff, like we've put up Jaden's spreadsheet. That's great because it's obviously got it's got all the projections, which is nice to look at, and he's doing a little bit better than Cow in the captain picking stakes. So you might follow some of his tips on there, which is another reason why Jordan Dawson's probably coming into the Warne Dawgs this week, even though I should be smarter about what my team looks like in the future and saving some cash. That's annoying. Anyway, that's it. Thanks very much. I will talk to you on Sunday night for the Patreon live stream, on Monday for the podcast, on Wednesday for the podcast. Next Thursday, we will be in Perth, broadcasting live from there for the AFL stream. And if you're in Perth, come along to the show. Tickets available. Click the link. Go and get them and have a bit of fun. See ya, legends. Stop recording.